For the very first time, victims of America's opioid crisis got a chance to formally confront the family that they say destroyed their lives. In a virtual hearing today, more than 24 people unleashed decades of pent-up frustration, sorrow, and rage on members of the Sackler family. They own Purdue Pharma. The company makes the highly addictive painkiller OxyContin. Members of that family have agreed to pay up to $6 billion in exchange for immunity against future opioid lawsuits. $6 billion. They're said to be worth $11 billion. Most of that $6 billion would go to fight the opioid crisis, and $750 million of it to the victims or survivors. But at the bankruptcy hearing today, many victims stress money won't bring back their dead loved ones. Here are some of their words. I hope that every single victim's face haunts your every waking moment, and your sleeping ones too. You poisoned our lives and had the audacity to blame us for dying. You murdered my daughter and destroyed my family. You have truly benefited from the death of children. You are scum of the earth. And this one, you got rich off our dead bodies and told us it was our own fault for dying. And another, I'm outraged that you haven't owned up to the crisis that you created. At no point in the hearing did members of the Sackler family offer anything. Nothing. Beth Macy joins us now. She's a journalist and author of the best-selling book, Dope Sick, Dealers, Doctors, and the Drug Company That Addicted America. The book inspired Hulu's new limited series. Beth, thanks so much. You listened to this emotional Zoom hearing today, I understand. Associated Press called it the closest thing we may ever get to a trial. Is that how the victims see it?
Yeah, a lot of them do. A lot of them still think this whole thing ended up in the wrong court because of a bankruptcy loophole. The Sacklers were able to file for bankruptcy when they themselves aren't bankrupt. And in exchange for paying $6 billion of their own wealth, they're getting a civil immunity from all current and future lawsuits.
Did any of the Sacklers say anything, show any remorse?
No. To be fair, I don't think they were permitted to speak. Richard did get on briefly at the very beginning and say that he was listening, and there was apparently a lawyer there with him to certify that he was listening. Dame Teresa, which is on the A side of the Sackler family, and Richard's son David were there, and people who were able to see the video. I was not. I was just telephoning in, right. As was most of the public. Report that they were there, but didn't really speak.
You know, some of the victims are calling for criminal charges against the Sackler. Is that even possible?
It's possible. Yeah, sure, it's possible if there's enough public pressure for it. So they're recidivists. Purdue Pharma is recidivist criminals. They pleaded guilty to criminally misbranding the drug in 2007. And then instead of abide by their corporate integrity agreement and stop misbranding the drug and other fraudulent tactics, the company ends up pleading guilty again in 2020. And so that case has still not been finalized. There's a chance. There was a rally in front of the Department of Justice in early December led by many family members of the dead that were calling on Attorney General Merrick Garland and specifically the new U.S. Attorney of New Jersey, Philip Selinger, to criminally prosecute the Sacklers. Now, there's one thing. This payout that they're supposed to be paying, $6 billion, up to $6 billion. It's over 17 years. And there's the thinking that, if they are prosecuted criminally, what will happen to that money? So they've set up this kind of Sophie's choice between justice and, opioid abatement money. Now, we also know that there isn't enough money in the Sackler world to turn back the crisis. So that's what we really need to be focusing on.